So I watched Crown Jewel and I want to talk about it. This is going to be part one. Now we opened up with the original Bloodline versus the Bloodline 2.0. I was shocked. I was shocked. I'm used to Roman being in the main event. This surprised me. And the story in this match was the original Bloodline going to trust each other enough to beat Solo's Bloodline? No, it didn't happen. You know, Jay did not want to tag in Roman. He was just not for that. He was like, no, I'm my own man. I will tag you in when I feel like it. But it got to a point where Jimmy and Jay were getting beaten, and then you had to give the hot tag to Roman. And so by the time Roman got in there, you know, he did what he did. He had control, he had power until he met Jacob Fatu. Now, let me tell you something. Jacob was a monster in this match. Like, you couldn't keep him down. You could not keep him down. And that he was I feel like the real ace in Solo's game plan, because he took everybody out. And even though the referee got taken out, I felt like there wasn't too many shenanigans here. Like, Jacob just ran through everyone, and that's how Solo got the win. You know? And it's because, again, the original Bloodline, they just got back together. It's been like, I think a year. So they still have a lot to get through before they can actually gel. And so until they can gel and get through their own personal stuff, they're going to keep losing to Solo and his crew. And then after the match, you know, Solo's crew was like, oh, we're going to beat everybody up, right? We're going to beat everybody up. And they were about to destroy Jay. Zami came for the save. Solo was in the middle of the ring alone, and he was cornered. He was cornered by the original Bloodline. You had, you know, Sami in one corner, Jay, Roman, and then you had Jimmy over there. And so Roman and Sami came at Solo at the same time, and Solo got out of the ring, and Sami ended up kicking Roman in the face. And you know Jimmy can't stand Sami. So the little mistake that Sami made, Jimmy gonna be all on top of him. So like I said, they got to get it together in order to win. Good way to start the show. Right? And then we had the Fatal 4-Way for the women's tag titles, right? We had Meta Girls versus Bianca and Jade versus Piper and Green versus Damage Control. I love this match until like the halfway point. There were a few botches here, but I still enjoyed the match. And then I felt like it got chaotic. Something happened, and we've kind of rushed everything. Everybody kept doing their finishers. The best part of this match was when you had the powerhouses going against each other. You know, it was Jade and Legend had been teasing, and they finally got to go against each other, even if it was for only like a few minutes. But at the end of the day, it was very chaotic, and then everything calmed down. And then Bianca, Piper, and Green were the only ones in the ring. And there was a miscommunication between Piper and Green, and Piper ended up squashing Green. And then Bianca and Jade did a double team on Green, and that's how they won the match. Like I said, I liked half of that match. Maybe it was just me, but I just felt like, why did everybody have to like do their finishers at the same time? It was very old WWE or new WWE. They do it once in a while, and they used to do it all the time, especially in a tag match. But I just felt like it was just back to back, and then the finish. But you know what? Bianca and Jade won. This is the division we have. This is it. So, love Io though. Io's always great. And so then we had Liv versus Nia. We had, no. Sorry, I am getting ahead of myself. We have Bronson Reed versus Rollins, right? Now, Bronson versus Rollins, I like this match, you know. Again, WWE just keep building their monsters. Reed is another one. Like, how many times did he have to get stomped before Seth won? You know what I mean? Like, not even that. Before the match even started, they were already beating each other up. And the thing is that once the match got started, Bronson Reed hit the tsunami on to Seth Rollins. But instead of taking the cover and taking the win, he said, no, I'm going to go back up and hit even more tsunamis. And that's where he messed up at the very beginning of the match. Because after that, Seth kept fighting. and he wouldn't go down. Don't get me wrong, neither would Bronson Reed. Like, you know, everything Seth threw at him, he would kick out. Everything Bronson threw at Seth, he would kick out. It got to the point where Bronson went outside. He got the ring steps, and that is where Seth got control. He went and he hit the legs of Bronson. Bronson hit his head on the ring steps. He got like a little cut on his head. And then Seth stopped Bronson Reed onto the steps. And then he stomped him again in the ring. And then he did a super stomp from the third rope. He jumped off the third rope and stopped him again. And that's how he was able to get the 1, 2, 3. So Seth Rollins won this match. But Bronson Reed came out strong because let me tell you, as Seth was walking away from the ring, Bronson was standing up. He was getting up and he was looking a hole in the back of his head, of Seth Rollins' head. I don't know if this means it's not over, because Seth was like, if you want some, come get some. But at the end of the day, maybe Bronson learned a valuable lesson. Pin the man while he's down. Even Seth said it in the match, you should have taken me out when you had the chance. But he won. Bronson still looked great, right? Now we have Liv versus Nia. I like this match. I feel like this is the women's tag match. You know, I liked the first half and then I didn't like the rest of it. I liked the first half when it was just Liv and Nia. Because I felt like, yeah, Nia was being a destructive force, but Liv was still in this match. She was figuring out ways to kick out. She was fighting back, and then Tiffany came out. So we got those shenanigans with her teasing, cashing it in, and then not cashing it in because Nia saw her and she was like, you're too early, you were supposed to be here later. And so that distracted Nia. And then Tiff was gonna leave, but then Tiffany came back because she saw that Nia was down and she was gonna cash in. And of course Raquel was there and she took the briefcase. And then not only was she there, Dom was there. And so again, shenanigans. But Nia took all of them out for like 5 seconds while they were arguing outside. She grabbed Liv Morgan to go inside the ring, and she was gonna beat her. Nia had Liv beat. But what happened? What always happens with Judgment Day? Dom distracted the referee. Raquel interfered with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and Liv won the match. Liv won the match. Liv is the inaugural women's crown jewel champion, even though it's just a ring, you know. At the end of the day, she won it, and she was very emotional. You could tell she was very emotional. You know, I may not have loved the fact that this was a champion versus champion match, and I really didn't like the title, the crown jewel title, or their ring, to be honest. But at the end of the day, you can tell this meant a lot to Liv Morgan. Like, she got very, very emotional. So she earned that win. And this is an accolade. This is an accolade in her resume. So, again, it was what it was. Glad we're done with this match, though, because now we can get Nia to move on. Let's move past Bayley, too. Let's move past Bayley. Let's go to Naomi, and then let's go somewhere else. And eventually, Tiffany has to catch in. Like, eventually, she has to catch in. And then we had Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. This is not a match. This was not a match, okay? Let me tell you something. This was Kevin trying to hurt Randy. And I said it when I said on SmackDown, hurt people. And that is what Kevin Owens said. I'm going to hurt you, Randy, like you hurt me. And Randy thought this was just going to be a normal match, right? Don't get me wrong. Randy fought back. Randy was pissed. He got angry because Kevin attacked him before the match even started. While Randy was trying to do his pose, Kevin started attacking him with a chair. And so they were going back and forth. And then the officials kept trying to separate them. And the referee got taken out by Kevin Owens. Even Adam Pearce, when he tried to interfere and stop them from fighting, he got RKO'd. And so this match wasn't a match. This was both of them trying to hurt each other. And I loved it. I loved every inch of it. Not everything has to be a match. It was a breath of fresh air. And like I said, we're going to see a new Kevin Owens, and we're going to see a darker side of Kevin Owens than we've ever seen. And I can't wait. But anyway, this is part 1 to the Crown Jewel, and now I'm going to give you part 2